Hello, and welcome once again to the Dental Marketing Mastery Series. This podcast is brought to you by dentalwebcontent.com and New Patients Incorporated. I'm Howie Horrocks, the founder of New Patients Incorporated. Along with me once again is my friend and partner and the president of New Patients Incorporated, Mark Dilatush. Well, hello, Mark. How are you doing today?
Hey, Howie. I'm doing just fine. It's actually a beautiful Monday here in the Northeast. We got rid of our 98 degrees and 99% humidity. We traded it in for 89 degrees and about 60% humidity. So,
well, that's much better.
Yeah, everybody here, it's sort of like the first warm spring day when all the bears come out of the cave and they start walking around. So we're, I don't know if it's the beginning of fall, but it's a sign of the end of the craziness of summer.
Awesome.
Well, we have a lot to cover today, or at least in this segment. And this is probably one of the, if not the number one questions we get. And it's also, fortunately or unfortunately, one of the first things that we have to go fix when a brand new client engages us. Remember in the old days, Howie, where we get a new client and they wouldn't even have a website?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, now they almost all have websites, but their internet strategy is poor.
Correct.
So today's segment is going to be basically websites, do's and don'ts, and we are purposely not going to get technical. This is going to be all about the marketing side. We may get as technical as, say, hosting or something like that, but there's really nothing that technical because honestly, Howie and I don't understand the technical side. We have a whole team that handles that.
Right,
Howie?
Yep, a very good team too.
Exactly. All right, so I think at the very beginning, one of the don'ts is never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, allow anyone else other than you to sign up for and own your domain. Do you agree, Howie?
Oh, absolutely. We've had numerous problems over the years trying to wrest away of somebody that the client hired to set up his domain, and it's just a nightmare.
It is. It's a nightmare, and this is probably old advice, and some of you more progressive dentists who are on this podcast are sitting there going, okay, come on, I know that, but it has cost dentists just thousands of dollars in real dollars, lost time, angst, stressed, whatever. And it's needless. You don't have to. Okay. You go log on to GoDaddy, whatever hosting service you want, put in your own credit card, put in your own name, set it up so that you get the notifications. When you get the notifications, pay attention to them, renew your site and your hosting when it comes in, and you'll be fine for the rest of your career. It's one of the easiest things in the world to do. Never, never, never give it to somebody else because they will, in most cases, hold you hostage. Now, there's the other side of this which is, a lot of times life gets busy and you get the notification, you delete it, or it goes in your junk folder, it goes in your spam folder. What we do with our clients is we have our clients own it, but they make one of us, Heather's our vice president of operations, make her the admin so that she, along with you, gets the notifications so that if you ignore them, okay, she won't, okay, she will ride you until you do something with those notifications. And honestly, with hundreds of clients that we have, we probably, I'm going to say 40, 50 a year. That's pretty conservative estimate. We have to chase after to get them to renew their domain. So it's not like we can do it for them, but you got to do it. Anyway, we will watch your back for you. So that's the first don't. Don't ever give anybody access to controlling your domain. Admin, no problem. All right, next, biggest mistakes, do's and don'ts. So we're going to start with another don't. This is specifically for your website, and that has to do with the first place a mom from the top half of the dental market goes when she hits a dental website. Where is that, Howie?
Well, after the landing page, I believe our tracking tells us that the second most visited page is the Meet the Doc or Meet the Team page.
Exactly. Okay, so here's a do not and a do. Do not hide Meet the Dentist. And obviously the do is make sure you have a Meet the Dentist page. Make sure it is clearly visible in your navigation, your links at the top. And make sure that page, when it appears without scrolling, a picture of the dentist, okay? Don't hide, okay? Because she wants to meet you, So don't hide behind a bunch of words or pictures of your, accolades or your CEs or whatever, okay? You have to have a picture of yourself, and you have to have a well-written story, about yourself. Here's some more do's and don'ts. Don't make your words about you all about dentistry and all about the CEs you've taken and how much you've sacrificed for the for the human beings in your town because you went to all the CE. That will bore the heck out of mom. What mom wants to see is, are you a family person? Do you have children? Do they go to the schools in your community? What are your hobbies? Are you an approachable human being?
Right. That's the key. You want to, and in fact, when you go to sit for your photographer to take the photo, you tell them that I want to look approachable and friendly.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And a good photographer will have you get those concepts in your head as they start snapping the pictures. Okay. It's a weird thing, but that's what she's looking for. Another thing, if I might interject, what better way to increase that trust and that approachability and friendliness factor than actually putting a video of the doctor on the Meet the Doctor page, which is the second most visited page on the website. That'll do it every time.
Yeah, as long as it's done well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We've seen some examples of the opposite.
There are some dentists out there that just shouldn't be on video. They're
right.
in the minority. Don't worry about it. But
right, no big deal.
Right. Most dentists can come across, if they're coached properly and if they do it right, they can come across in a friendly, approachable manner.
Right. And that's all right. So do's and don'ts. Do have a Meet the Dentist up in your navigation. Do have the right words about the dentist, making you approachable, human, and potentially even video introduction of the dentist on the Meet the Dentist page. So those are 3 or 4 really good do's and don'ts. I'm going to move off the Meet the Dentist page now, and we're going to go to the pages that you have for your services. Now, anytime you build a website, you are, logistically, you are not limited in size, space, and scope. You could eventually have a 1,137 page dental website. Okay. But that website will not do you any good. You agree, Howie?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
It will harm you, actually.
Exactly. It will absolutely harm you. Anyway, so with that in mind, what you have to do is you have to begin to prioritize the information that you put on your website. So, and this might be a good introduction or segue into the marketable attributes scorecard that we have available on our website. If you, well, actually, it's on our new website. It's under it's www.dentalwebcontent.com. It's under resources, download or free downloads. I think it's under. And there is a marketable attributes scorecard there that actually gives you the score of each item as the consumer scores them, not as me and Howie scored them, not as you scored them, not as your staff scored them, but literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dental consumers telling you how they feel in numeric version of each of your services, your amenities, your technologies, your price, your public relations assets. Everything is all line itemed out on that scorecard. So I would encourage the people who listen to the podcast to go on there and grab a copy for yourself. Anyway, getting back to your website, you do have limited space on a website, and you have limited navigation at the top, especially if you're going to make a responsive website that shows up well on any mobile device. So you don't have a lot of room for a whole bunch of those top line navigation links. So you have to consolidate them. Now, here's a mistake we see people doing, dentists doing all the time. It's like everything is a service. It's like that's the only thing you offer are services. And that is just not true. And honestly, if you look at the scorecard, you'll see that services is actually the fourth most important main category. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of dentists are building websites based on what they think the consumer wants to see and hear, but they're missing the target, right? Okay. So what are the other things? Well, price. So you have to say something about price. You have to say something about insurance. You have to, whether you participate or not, you still have to say something about it. You can't just like ignore it, because if you ignore it, the consumer will ignore you. It's obvious, right? You have to say something about your technology because they love technology. You have to say something about your conveniences because let's forget fear for a second. What's the most inconvenient professional on earth? It's a dentist.
Exactly.
Okay. You're open from 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday, which are the worst possible hours for anyone who works.
Okay? We often ask our clients, do you have convenient hours? And they say, oh, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
They're completely wrong almost 100% of the time. The only people those hours are convenient for is for the dentist and the staff.
Right, exactly. So anyway, getting back to your website. So let's say that you had a website and top nav was meet the dentist, our services, our conveniences, our technologies. Right?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Right? Then no matter what you're looking at, you have room, whether you're looking at a phone or an iPad or a laptop, it's going to look great. And no matter what the consumer's looking for, they'll be able to find it, right? Now, when you go to services and you come up with a sub-menu of services, because you're not going to have one service page that is, a 15-foot scroll with a mouse. That's insane. And you certainly wouldn't want to do that with a mobile visitor. No mobile visitor is going to scroll as much on their phone as they would on your PC. So you need submenus. So when you create the submenus, you might want to create submenus like dentistry for children, dentistry for busy families, dentistry for seniors, dentistry for whatever. And then once those open up, then you have separate pages for, let's say, Invisalign, sleep apnea, sedation, what have you. Okay. So everything that I'm discussing here, you may think about it and say, wow, this sounds like a big website. This sounds like a 19, 20, 21 page website. And Howie and I are sitting here going, yeah, that's the right way to do it. Okay. There's a wrong way to do everything. There's very few right ways. And I'll tell you what, your SEO professional, if you walk in and, with them, well, certainly with us, our SEO department loves the fact that they have individual pages to promote for each of those service items. Okay. So, because it's just that much easier and that much more content to promote to position the website. So, so there's some do's and don'ts. Don't put all your services on one page. Don't ignore conveniences, technologies, public relations, assets, and price on your website, because if you do, then you're missing 75% of the top half of the market. You have to have all those things there. And another thing is don't ignore video. Don't ignore the power of video. Don't ignore the power of social media. Have your social media channels established and have links to them on your website. It's amazing how consumers, especially female consumers, like to feel connected. And your existing patients will connect with you if you allow them and encourage them, and they in turn will expose your business to their friends and neighbors as well. So it's sort of like a little referral engine.
I've got another don't. If you
no, go for it.
Yeah. Well, in fact, there's two don'ts. Some dentists get the idea that they're trying to educate the consumer, and that's true. Okay, but more than education, what you're trying to do is attract.
Right.
The purpose of advertising isn't to educate necessarily; it's to attract. So, in an effort to educate the consumer, some dentists have basically tried to put a WikiLeaks or a Wikipedia style website together where there's every possible dental topic that anybody could ever know about, and it's just this vast library, and it doesn't work.
No.
Okay? It doesn't work at all, and you won't get very many page views, if any. And it's an example of building a website for your colleagues rather than your public. So that's a very big no-no. Another one that pops to mind is, and it's related to this, is your website is not the same as a dental journal. You're not there to show, or the consumer isn't there to look at surgery.
No, they're absolutely not there to look at surgery.
Bloody implant surgery. They don't want to see titanium posts sticking out of gums. This isn't for your colleagues. It's for your consumers, and they're not at all interested in seeing the steps along the way. They're interested in seeing the result.
Exactly. And I would go so far as to say that, we have data that tells us not to put pictures of operatories.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most scariest things, you know how some people are afraid of clowns, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And some people are afraid of dolls. My daughter is afraid of dolls. Like, she's 32 years old and she's afraid of dolls, right? I don't know why. But operatory dental chairs are scary as hell to people.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't want to see that. Even though you have a flat screen hanging upside down that they can watch TV from, they don't want to see it.
Yeah, because what's the first thing that goes through their minds? I'll tell you what it is. It's a sound, and it sounds like zzz, zzz, zzz.
Exactly. It's the first thing. And the smell, too. The smell of burning enamel.
And they won't appreciate your beautiful operatory as nearly as much as you do. So don't go there.
No. Good idea. So here's do's and don'ts. Don't put a picture of a dental chair, okay, on your website, but do take a picture out front with your whole team, everybody smiling, waving hello.
There you go.
That's a good idea. Your reception area, if it's warm and comfortable and inviting, maybe you have a fireplace or a big fish tank or whatever, that's fine. Or maybe the person at the front desk saying hello, and you have a nice, semicircular front desk, and it's got whatever plants and cactuses laying around. Great. Take a picture of all that stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
Put all that stuff on your website. along with the great patients that you have, the wonderful outcomes that you have, some testimonials, your reviews, whatever. Put all that stuff on your website, but don't put don't put your work in progress. That it definitely does not help. So
Right.
All right, so other do's and don'ts before we finish up with this segment of the website. And I think one of the big ones is expectations. I think there's a lot of dentists out there who have opened their wallets and they keep pouring money, hundreds and thousands of dollars a month, into the internet as if it is the holy grail. The internet and your website specifically, is a very passive marketing medium. Your website just sits there unless you drive traffic to it with an offline promotion, or you position your website so that when someone types into Google to find dental services, your link pops up along with 15, 20 others. Or you pay money to Google in AdWords to get under the sponsored ad area in a Google search. Your website basically is just very passive. It just kind of sits there. It is not the end-all, be-all, but it is definitely one of the best supportive mediums and its own primary medium available. And the reason why it's so wonderful is its relative low cost. It doesn't cost much to do a really great website, do the SEO setup and get it positioned every month. It really doesn't. And it's sort of like, remember the old days when there was the Yellow Pages and you pay $3,000 a month, for the Yellow Page to position you somewhere in the top 3 in the dentist section. Okay. A great website, great SEO, social media platform work management, all that stuff doesn't cost near that. Okay. So you can get that same result, better result actually, for far less money now than you used to, in the Yellow Pages. But still, it's not the end-all, be-all. But it is a wonderful, supportive medium for any other promotion you ever do, whether it's online or offline. And it can be its own wonderful primary medium. A primary medium is a medium that generates a phone call to your office by itself. And a supportive medium is a medium that uses a different promotion to collect people and then get them to call from there. So a website, that's really where most of the money comes into a dental practice, from a website. It comes from offline promotion. There's some that comes from online promotion, but the online promotion dollar is getting more and more expensive. And it's getting more and more clouded in its effectiveness. We've actually transitioned customers off of, let's say, Google AdWords pay-per-click over to Facebook, simply because more and more dentists were doing AdWords and the cost per click they were going through the roof, $80, $90, $95 a click. This could be some drunk guy in Ireland who's clicking your website. You're still paying $85, right? But with Facebook, you get a little better targeting, a lot better targeting, and a little better bang for your buck. So, but the bottom line is that your website is two things. It is a tremendously wonderful supportive medium, and it can be a reasonably effective primary medium. You got anything else, Howie?
Well, I think we about covered it for this segment. That sounds pretty good.
Do's and don'ts for your website. We'll probably have another one of these because I have about 12 more in my head.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, until next time then.
Thank you.
Thank you. We hope you've enjoyed our podcast today. You can find more podcasts on our YouTube channel, on Stitcher, and iTunes. Also on our websites dentalwebcontent.com and New Patients Inc.